Hello everyone and welcome back to TTTV. You're watching TTL F1, which brings us to the season finale of season number 11. Round 21 takes us to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Now, as advertised on Twitter, we have the two championship rivals. It all comes down to the wire. Lambo and Poe separated by 14 points going into this race, and we're delighted to have them both here. I'm also joined by Alan in the commentary box for this one. Great to have him, and hopefully great to see him in the car next season. Hey, Alan, has that been confirmed yet?
That has been. I'm back in the silver with Spike for next season, so that's something to look forward to.
Perfect. There you go. We have a driver pundit. It's not often I get to say that. Okay, so let's turn the focus onto Lambo and Poe. We sort of try and treat this as a bit more of a sort of press conference. So, a question to the both of you. I don't mind who answers first. We have a question here, I believe, from Blizzard. He wanted to ask you two a question. So, I'll I'll throw a sort of a couple of questions your way. He says it's been a topsy-turvy season. Who did you both think was going to win the championship when the season begun in Australia?
Just a quick one, guys. Myers is just signing in the stream chat there that he can't hear Lambo or Paul.
There we go. Technical difficulties. We'll hopefully hear from them shortly then. You guys know what to do then. Sort of the audio settings. Yeah, perfect. And Maze, yes, I will put the thumbnail on. Don't you worry. It will just take me time. Remember.
It should be done now.
Good stuff. Hopefully we can hear them.
That's fixed it.
Alan, I don't know if you can hear them now. Can you? Have you got YouTube open?
I'll turn the volume on. Yeah, one of us just test there, lads.
Hello.
So that should be all right now.
Yeah, you can hear us there now, lads.
Perfect. Okay, so you might as well go over your answers again. Yeah, who did you think was going to win here in season 11?
So I did think it was going to be myself at the top with Poe squeezing a spike after coming second last season with Blizzard winning. I did think it would be similar to last season, and it has been, but you never know with the new game.
And when we come to, I'll come to his second question. What would you say has been your best battle of the season? Any particular track?
Gonna go. I'd probably say Germany, coming from the back, battling my way through the field to win. I think Poe got a punch at that race, I think. But yeah, that was an interesting race.
And well, for the both of you then, when it comes to moments of the season, we've had quite a few dramatic moments this season, to say the least, but there's been four of you right up until the sort of last 4 or 5 races. It must have been tough to stay at the top and keep at the top of the table. Just how difficult has it been this season?
It has been difficult. Obviously, I speak to Poe and Squeezy in the party every race, so kind of know what they're doing. But Spike, never know what he's doing strategy-wise, and he always seems to take the alternate strategy. So you never know where Spike will crop up on the alternate strategy in the second half of the stint. So you just never know, really. Just get us on our toes, really.
So just guys still commenting there, lads, that they can't hear Paul still.
Well, Lambo, let me ask you this then, whilst Poe's sorting out his microphone. It was sort of about, what was it, 10 weeks ago? Obviously, I used to league race with you, and it was that week where you lost 2 championships in that week, both TTL and TTFL. You must be a lot happier, 14 points clear at the top. Could you say one hand on the trophy just yet?
You never know. I'd like to say so, but I'm not going to go into it too confident. I'm not going to go in expecting to win. I'm just going to, you know, put my head down, stay out of trouble, and just come home with some points.
And Poe, if you want to give yourself a little check. Can everybody hear him? Well then,
You were still a bit muffled on the screen there, so.
Go on,
No, they're commenting back on the screen as well now.
Well, I can transcribe for you. I can basically speak for you. It's great. So, all right then, Poe. If I give you a question, so Z3 asks in the chat, how gutting will it be if you lose the championship in this race, being so close to it?
Hold on, I fixed the mic there. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, it should be fixed. I won't be gutted. I mean, it's been tough. Fair enough, a few wins today. I'll be there next season. So yeah, it'll be tough, but
yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but like obviously you'd like to win this season, but you know there's always other seasons. Although Blizzard is coming back next season, don't know.
And there's Josh as well. Yeah, it'll be tough, but
Blizzard and Josh.
Next season, look forward to it.
Yeah, next season you're looking forward to it. I think the team lineups have been confirmed. I've just been sent here. Lambo, you're staying with Toro Rosso, and Poe, I believe, you're moving to Haas.
Yes, I am.
So with there's still the constructors' title to be grabbed as well. I believe Renault are leading the way by a good few points. How important will it be for your teammates to help you in the race today?
I mean, definitely it'll be just to score some solid points. I think Toro Rosso need to get at least a P1 and P2 to even have a chance of coming back. So it'll be close, but...
Sorry, I know you're listening, lad. I mean, it's going to be very tough, but it's just, I don't know, I think it might be just out of reach, to be honest, with Blizzard driving and Squeezy. I think and it's Spike, pretty much Renault's. Yeah, Spike as well.
And both of you obviously will be hoping to finish in the top 2 at least. But just how good have your rivals been in Spike and Squeezy, giving you good battles all the way up to the sort of last couple of races?
Yeah, Squeezy's he's been there pretty much every race. He's won quite a few. I think he's won 4 or so. So he's definitely got the pace to come next season. But he's just had a few incidents where he's maybe, let's say, crashed into someone.
Yeah.
Which has just really costed him. Spike as well. He's been very quick as well. Always doing the alternate strategy. So the second stint he's always faster. So having to defend him must have been difficult. So yeah, it's been competitive between the 4 of us, definitely.
And like you say, with the likes of Josh and Blizzard maybe rejoining next season, just how tough is season 12 going to be if one of you has to defend your title?
It'll be more fun than tough, I'd say. The battles next season is going to be great. Potentially a 6-way fight.
Yeah,
even 7
I think we'll all be in the same party as well. So we get along with Blizzard and Josh, so yeah, we'll all be in the same party. Should be a good battle. Yeah, I'd say it'd be more fun than.
I think it'll be. Yeah.
Not to give away tactical advice to you both, but you're both going to be in the same party anyway. What are you thinking about strategy today? 1 stop, 2 stop? Are you going to qualify an ultimate strategy?
Yeah,
it's definitely a 1 stop. I don't know. I think people, the hypers that they
the hypers
go,
can make it. Yeah.
They go fast. They overheat. So it's whether
Yeah.
to do the pace in qualifying, and you can do it at the one stop, or to play it safe and do ultras. So yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
interesting what people do.
So lads, talking about tyres going off, can I just ask you a quick question about this? Have you struggled with your tyre temps as much as some of the lads, say like Spike on the controller, have struggled with during the season?
I mean,
I personally haven't, because
yeah, just
I turn the tyre pressures right down. That helps, and I think because we're on wheel, you know, we're a lot smoother in our inputs, so
yeah, inputs,
I haven't really
definitely.
suffered that much. Mainly just on hypers, but any other tyre is fine for me.
I mean, maybe there was one race where you struggled. I need to remember what it was, but yeah. Other than that, not really, no.
Some interesting answers, lads.
Absolutely. So, just one final question. Are you nervous about tonight?
Not really nervous. I was excited to get on with it.
Yeah, 2 minutes to go. Just, you know,
2 minutes.
get on with it. Let's go.
That's yeah.
Great stuff. Well, thank you both for joining us pre-race. Thank you to the guys who sent in some questions as well. Good luck to the both of you. Obviously, don't centre and prost it. Hopefully, looking forward to a really good race.
Yeah, it should be.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Goodbye.
Take care, guys.
Cheers.
Alan, Spike just saying in the chat, they're looking forward to a wet race.
What race? I just saying that it'd be interesting around Abu Dhabi, alright.
Well,
although it is cold massive, so rain in the desert is always possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, anyway, if you like that pre-race conference, maybe we can make them more of a thing going forward. Let us know what you thought about them. Obviously, a little bit of mic troubles, but you know, it wouldn't be one of my streams if something didn't go terribly wrong with the audio. So if you're just joining us now for the stream, hello and welcome. This is season number 11, round 21 at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and we are about to find out who will be crowned champion between Lambo and Poe. Alan, you've been racing in and amongst the pack here every so often. I mean, just how close has this field been this season? It's been absolutely fantastic to watch.
It's been excellent to watch, and up until season or till round 6 till I dropped out of the season this season. I was in some good battles. Everyone seems to have picked up the pace on the new game. I noticed a lot more through the season, the likes of myself, especially in the early stages, myself, Plaster. Some of the guys who are mid to lower down the grid are getting ahead of the front guys at the pit stops, and that's also added another dimension to them, that they have to pick their way back by the slower guys again then without losing time to each other. So it adds for more excitement coming towards the end of the race with the front guys, but it also allows us to improve our racing skills as well in the midfield.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's been quite good this season, and by the looks of next season's lineup, that's going to continue being the case.
Well, it's the first time I'm joining you in the commentary box, so welcome.
Thanks, it's nice to be joining you.
Absolutely. I mean, you've been commentating alongside Andy. I mean, he's a nice guy. He is a nice guy. If you're watching,
Yeah,
Andy,
he's a
hello.
nice guy, yeah. I enjoyed commentating last week, the 2 races with Andy. So, just in case people are wondering why I'm in the commentary box, the couple of races, I'm going to be taking over the commentary for a new league that the TTGaming are setting up, so I'll give more information about that after the race.
Absolutely. Jay said he's ready to take Lambo out. Don't do that, Jay. Don't do that. But yeah, there is that real scenario where it could go wrong for one of the top two, and it would, you know, benefit Lambo more than anything.
Yeah, Andy asked me that question before Brazil, when we were coming to Brazil on Thursday. What way did I think it needed to go for the constructors? And I said Lambo did need to take sort of a comfortable cushion in here to be sure of it, and so that if something did go wrong in the race, as it looked at one stage in Brazil, Paul was going to close the gap down to 4 or 5 points, so that would have made it really tight on Lambo. At least he has a couple of positions to play around now with his 14 points. So.
Yeah, I was trying to work out as well what they both needed to secure the championship. And Lambo, he just needs a top 4, and regardless of where Poe finishes, Lambo will be champion. if Lambo finishes 5th, 6th or 7th, Poe has to win the race. Now Poe has more race wins this season. It's 5-4 between the two of them, so that will count back on countback, if that makes any sense. So yeah, if they tie on points, Poe will be crowned champion. So he's got to basically look for the tie in most scenarios. So 5th, 6th or 7th, Poe has to win. If Lambo finishes in 8th, Poe has to finish in 2nd. 2nd would see it count back on number of wins. And if Lambo finishes 10th, then Poe must be on the podium. Same scenario if Lambo is not in the points or doesn't finish, Poe needs a podium. 14 points separates the top two. Alan, which way do you see it swinging?
It's hard to see Lambo dropping at this stage. As he said in the press conference there beforehand, he was battling with Blizzard and just lost it to Blizzard last season, and he's come back fighting this season. And I think it's going to be Lambo. I hope for an interesting race. I hope both drivers are still in it at the end, and who knows what will happen if they're both still there at the end, what positions they're in. It's going to be interesting. That's the main thing. And that's what we're all looking for, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm thinking as well. I think this is one of the first league races in TTL where I've commentated a race that's going down to the wire, because when I've done it before, the championship has been decided in Brazil, it's been decided at Mexico one time. So to see it come down to the wire will certainly be a really interesting spectacle, as I'm watching Squeezy here. Well, Squeezy has had a good season, but as the Poe and Lambo might have been saying in the press conference, just a couple of mistakes this season have really cost him. But I think he can take away being happy this season that he's managed to create a rivalry for so long, Alan.
Yeah, he looked very competitive at the start of the season here. I think Spike took the first couple of race wins, and then Squeezy was the first one to take a win away from Spike and show that he was there to battle with Spike for the championship. And as the season's gone on, Lambo and Poe come into it, and obviously they've just unfortunate for, as I said, saying in the press conference as well, tyre temperature struggles for Spike, and a couple of mistakes for Squeezy, who's dropped the two of them off the pace. So expect next season to see both of them standing up there as they will sort these issues out.
Absolutely, and you can see Squeezy here running around with a plain orange lid here as he makes his way through and negotiating through. One other person I want to be talking about is Spike as well. Spike, who's currently 4th in the championship, I believe. Is that right? I'll have to check the championship standings again. But yeah, it's a season that could have gone a lot better for Spike. I'll say that right now. But I believe you're joining him next season, so maybe you can help him out in the constructors, Alan.
Well, I was with him at the start of the season. I had 22 points on the board before I left him after round 6, which is kind of annoyed that I threw them points away and beat it or whatever. Hopefully that we can get a good start to next season if Spike can continue getting race wins early in the season, and I can take points on the way I did at the start of the season again. It will put us in good stead. As you can see, the constructors are still Sauber's still up there in 3rd place, I think it is. Bearing in mind that was Blizzard take on 2 race wins as a reserve in the Haas or in the Sauber as well. But as far as I'm aware, Spike's mid-season team Onyx Mate didn't score any points, so that maybe puts Spike in the.
Yeah, I'm watching Lighty at the moment. He is 6th place, obviously with Blizzard in 5th place as a reserve, so it's a great performance from him. But I think a special mention has to go to Lighty. He's been saying this week, it's best of the rest, but actually that's not a bad thing to have. I think Lighty's had one of his best seasons in TTL, and that is saying something. He's been absolutely fantastic in the Ferrari, and he's been that opportunist, getting those points when it matters, and to be 6th place in the championship, considering how close the season has been, is nothing more than a compliment then, Alan. Surely.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, I think he could be higher. There's been a few races I've seen this season where he's had internet troubles, where he's disconnected from the race and he's lost maybe 4 or 5 positions before he's reconnected and got control of his car again. So, you know what I mean? If he hadn't have had them few races where that's happened and he's kept the positions that he's been in when he's disconnected, he would have more points on the board. So it could be even a better season for him. So I think we should not overlook that as well. Although he's had an excellent season, there is more points there to be gained for him as well. So it's been a good season, and there's reason for optimism. So Lodi, I think, is in a good place as well at the moment.
Yeah, Jay then goes top of the table with a 134.3, Sean 136.6, but he is on the super soft tyre. Steph there hoping to retain his top 10, preferably 9th place, with a 137.5. Poe setting a 141.1, but I hardly believe that's a representative lap time.
Poe's done that the last 2 races as well, and I think Lambo has as well, where they seem to go out on the faster tyre and put in a lap and then just bail out a lap coming around the last corner. So they don't set a representative time on it. So
yeah, they were both very open about their strategy in the opening or in the pre-race conference. They both said they wanted to do a one-stop. They both said you could make it on the hypersoft, but they both said they were open to maybe conserving their tyre choices. So we could maybe be seeing them on a harder tyre in qualifying, just to get into that top 10 and open up that opportunity to maybe try a more conservative one-stop rather than starting with a set of hypers.
With the tyre deltas around here, that the deltas that the game gives between each tyre is just over 0.6 of a second. So the lads can afford, with their pace, they can afford to sacrifice that 0.6 and go for a harder tyre, because it will only see them drop down to, say, maybe between 4th to 8th, say, on the grid. So they would still be in a position where on a better tyre to be able to fight with the lads down the end. So it's possible around here.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're seeing the Gort here, who's been one of those drivers who sticks around, and it seems like he's been around here forever. One of those great drivers going around there. It's great to see him back, and great to see him, I believe, confirmed for next season. He'll be sticking with the Haas, but he'll be teaming up with Poe then. That looks like a good opportunity for Haas to try and seal the Constructors' Championship next year.
Yeah, it's a good team. It's, as we've seen in many of your streams before, with the Gort nose to tail with Mays for nearly a whole season, basically. So we know that Gort can race. We know he's quick. As we can see with Paul battling for the title, he's quick. So it's they look like they're in a good position for the championship. Again, I think if Spike is on form at the top end, then I can keep getting mid points finishes, whereas we could be up around there. And I also think if Lambo and Z3 stay together and Z3 can pick up a few more points in the second half of next season, they'll be there as well in the tournament. So it looks like there's going to be an interesting battle. Blizzard in the Force Indy has yet to have a teammate confirmed, so we'll see who goes with Blizzard, and they look like that is a strong team as well. So.
Absolutely. Well, got Jay still on top then, and when I talk about Jay here as he's out of fuel and trying to make his way back to the pits, it's been
an interesting comment. Sorry to interrupt you here. Just an interesting comment to see in the live chat. Spike saying there's rain in Sector 3.
Rain in Sector 3? Are you sure, Spike? Well, there might be rain. Maybe in the real race, sure, but I don't know. No, can't see any rain.
According to Mays, the weather forecast is dry but dark, so from the race, so.
Well, that one is more believable, I think. Yeah, I think that's a bit more believable. Well, it's interesting you mentioned Z3, because he's actually going to be a reserve for next season, so we might be seeing a bit less of him next season, but certainly when there's an open space, we'd love to see him back. He has had much worse seasons. I remember his pretty much season where he only scored a point in, I believe it was 2 races, which I'm sure he'll be thrilled I've brought that up again. He looked like he wanted to go into the pits there, but decided then to stay out with 9 minutes to go. He's had a much better season, finding himself in the midfield there, and he said he wanted to try and finish in the top 10, try and rival Steph for that position, and he has done that for most of the season. I think he can be happy with how this season has gone.
Yeah, it's been a very good season for G3. Like a lot of drivers in the league, that everyone seems to take a step forward season after season. Everyone gets to know the tracks better, the car setups in each game as we go through the games, and then of course, the natural pace of drivers improves as well the more and more we race. So it's good to see, and it's making for a really tight field. Like I remember going back to when I first joined, and maybe might have been 6 or 7 seconds a lap separating the entire field. I think that's down to about 2.5, 3 seconds at the moment. So.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit of a small grid tonight, but I think that might help out Poe more than it might help out Lambo, because that means there's more points up for grabs.
Yeah, it means more points up for grabs, but it also means less chance of Lambo being taken out, because other drivers lower down won't battle maybe as hard as they would with Lambo as normal, as they'll be seeing points on offer as well, and you want to take the maximum they can take. So you might see a lot of drivers maybe letting the likes of the faster lads go and trying to tuck in behind and follow rather than battle with the faster guys. So it'll be an interesting strategy call as well, to be part of the race strategy for drivers, what they do when they come across other drivers on track that are on different strategies. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm watching, I'm about to watch Jay, but he was in the pits. I did want to talk about Jay, as Poe goes second fastest on the hardest possible tyre, 134.7 on those super softs. So yeah, he's definitely wanting to try and go for that not only conservative strategy, but put on a set of ultra softs near the end of the race. That is if he can stay in the top 10, and maybe with 14 drivers, that's a good possibility that he could actually qualify in the top 10.
Yeah, it's a good representative lap there as well when you look at the other drivers around them and what tyres they're on. So I can't see him maybe even dropping too much further. And I look at the drivers still to go. Lambo, Spike, you would think are going to go on ultras, maybe Lizard as well. The Dark Mars Plaster, they could go either way, Hypers or ultras. So maybe out of them, maybe the Gorto from if he goes in Hypers might get ahead of Paul, but I can't see too many other of the ones that below him getting ahead of him, unless they use the Hyper tyre, which would put Paul in a better position anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm just trying to upload onto Twitter all of the links and everything, but Mays has gone P4 there.
4 with a 1:25.008. That's a good time for Mays.
It is a good time, and well, he's
it's on the Hyper soft tyre as well. So.
Yeah, I think that's 7/10 off of Jay, and I really did want to talk about Jay. Actually, he's what I've proven or what I've seen this season is he seems to be one of those people who can really be really good over one lap, but he just needs to focus on this racecraft. I mean, I know it's one of his first seasons in TTL, and maybe he's got a bit more of a grip, a bit more of a handle on all the drivers in the league. Maybe he just needs to iron out those couple of mistakes he's been making, especially in the second half of this season.
Yeah, Jay's an interesting one. I think he's a good driver, he's quick. I don't think in a couple of races I've seen so far this season, his internet has kind of let him down a bit as well. So maybe once that's sorted and he's got a stable neck connection, that some of the mistakes might earn themselves out. They might be from neck connection rather than driver error themselves. But yeah, certainly he is a quick driver, and he has the potential to be up there battling with the top guys. He's shown that a couple of times this season over one lap pace anyway. So
I'm guessing someone told him about weak Wi-Fi solutions then, hey?
I think there's been a few hints dropped anyway.
Oh, how about that for a subtle plug? Anyway, 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Jay is on provisional pole. His teammate Poe is in second. Now he's going to go out on a set of ultrasofts. Lighty is in third, Mays in fourth, Squeezy in fifth, Z3 sixth, Stefan seventh, Sean in eighth, and Ollie is ninth. Blizzard, the Gore, Plaster, Lambo and Spike all yet to set a lap time in this qualifying session.
The Gort is on a flying lap now, coming around turn 3.
Yeah, absolutely, and that sort of Iron Man themed lid, which I've always been a fan of, it's really kept it the same across all the Formula 1 games, especially to 2017 and then to 2018. So it's always recognisable. You can see him from a mile away, Alan.
Yeah, a lot of drivers like to change their helmets, and there's a few guys out there who like to design different helmets for drivers. So it's nice to see that the helmets staying the same. I try to do the same, similar with my own if I can. the traditional green, white and orange of the Irish flag, and that's about it.
I was meant to ask you what that helmet meant.
Yeah, it's the green, white, orange. It's of the Irish flag. The three colours.
Well, we've got so only 9 people have set a lap time so far, with about 3.5 minutes to go. Right, I want to ask this in the chat. Who do you think is going to get pole position? Will it be one of the championship contenders, or will it be someone outside of that? It's also been a season, Alan, where it's been pretty much dominated by the top 4, and that's not something we see that often. Although the championship has been open, as Jay goes even faster, 133.9, as Mays retires from the session. It's been close between those 4. In fact, the only person who's won a race that's outside of the top 4 is Blizzard. As reserve, he's won 2 races this season, and that just goes to show how quick these 4 have been throughout the entire season. As Jay actually goes straight on there to try and get back to the pits a little bit quicker.
That was 5th with a 1:35.4. Yeah, it's been just goes to show the pace that's there with the lads, and I think it's a bit. It doesn't show the full picture when you say it that way. That it's only the top 5 who've won races, because I remember races where Lloydie, Steph, Miles, Ollie, Sean, they've all been up there. Z3 been up there battling with the likes of Spike and Paul and Lambo. So and made maybe little mistakes that are dropping back away towards the end of the race. But the midfield guys have shown they can be up there at times during the season as well. So it's obviously just it shows the quality of the top 5 guys that they can pull away from the midfield lads and get the victory when it's needed. But that's as I say, I don't think it says the full picture of the speed of the season of the whole grid.
And
tires for the session.
Yeah, the Gort's retired. I'm assuming from the pit lane. We have, I believe, yes, the Gort was the person who set another lap time. Jay into the pits then, so that means he won't be able to set another lap time. He hasn't made it back in time. But we've got Spike out there on a set of ultra soft tyres. Lambo on the same ultra soft tyres. Plaster in the pits hasn't set a lap time, so he will not be setting a time in this session. Blizzard's on an outlap. As that Steph you were talking about, I'll see if I can ride on board with him. Yep. So yeah, he's now coming down towards turns 5 and 6, and then coming through turn 7. Yeah, Plaster retiring from the pit lane. He's got no more time to set a lap time. A little bit of wheel spin there from Steph as he headed out of turn 7 there. And well, your thoughts very quickly, 30 seconds, Alan. Your thoughts on the Abu Dhabi circuit?
It's a circuit I usually like. In this game, not so much. It doesn't like me, but it's a good circuit. I like it and I enjoy racing. It usually throws up some battles if you can get the DRS down to 2 minute straights. So as close as the lads are, I think we should see some DRS driving.
So we've got Poe out there. Spike has set a 1:37.0, which puts him 11th place. So he's got to go again. I'm sure that lap time wasn't representative as Ollie retires from the session from P8, as Poe finds himself on a flying lap, as well as
lap must have been invalidated as he has to go again as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spike's not too bad a position sitting on the bubble there, Kieran.
No, you're right. He could go for the super soft tyres from that position, but if I know Spike, that's not what he wants to do. He wants to get into that top 10 with these tyres.
He will want to start in the top 10, but if he does start there, it will be a benefit that he's starting on fresh tyres as well, not the tyres he qualified on, where all the guys ahead of him will be on the tyre they qualified on, so them tyres will have laps for
Riding on board with Poe then as we head through towards turns 11, 12 and 13. Very difficult to get this section right, especially when you're braking. Easy to lock up the brakes and then easy to lose that back end as Lighty retires from the session, currently P3, as we've got at the moment a Renault 1-2. I wonder how long that's going to last then, as Poe now flies his way through all the way to turn 17 and a whole bunch of right angled corners coming up as we now head through 18, now coming up to 19 here. Try and get onto that blue tarmac if you can as we head now towards the double right-hander. It's turn 20, then it's turn 21. What can Poe do? Can he grab pole position? Well, Blizzard's got there first. He's on provisional pole position. Poe's now coming across the line. He goes 6/10 faster, so it's third as Spike comes into the pits. So he is happy with P12 it seems, or he must have made a mistake. So Lambo to go then. What can he do? Can he get ahead of Blizzard as he heads towards the line? What's it going to be from Lambo? It's fifth. It's only P5. So in championship standings then, Poe third and Lambo in fifth. So advantaged Poe in qualifying, but I don't think Lambo will be too concerned about that position right now.
I don't think so. I think Lambo, they have the benefit of both Poe and Lambo have the benefit of Jay ahead on Hypersofts. They have Lily and Mays just behind them on Hypers as well. So they have drivers around them that they can use now to judge when they should pit and whether they should be conservative or aggressive on the tyres. And depending on what the Hypersoft guys do, I think that can influence the two lads in the championship battle. So this could be an interesting.
Well, let's run through qualifying then. So Blizzard grabs pole position. Jay is in second, Poe in third, Squeezy fourth, Lambo in fifth, Lighty in sixth, Maze in seventh, The Gort is in eighth, Sean in ninth, Steph in 10th, Ollie 11th, Z3 12th, Spike in 13th there, looking to put on a set of super soft tyres, and Plaster did not set a time in this session. He'll be starting from P14, and with 14 starters, it looks like a good opportunity for those who don't normally score points to get a good haul of them today, Alan.
Yeah, definitely. It's Abu Dhabi's a track where, especially the turn 2-3 sector, it's quite easy to lose the back end on. So you could see maybe some of the front guys maybe losing the back end, picking up a bit of wing damage, or possibly retiring the car, which will give the guys further back more opportunity at points. So, yeah, expect to see some good points scored by drivers who wouldn't expect today.
So then let's have your sort of response in the chat. Who are the flags flying for today? Who do you want to win? I mean, the brain may say one thing, but the heart may say another. You just never know. It's going to be challenging for Poe if he's going to win the championship today, but as the legendary Murray Walker said, anything can happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. So I'm looking forward to this. 14 points between them, but that means nothing right now. All that means is that Poe may just have to work a little bit harder. Lambo with a bit of pressure off. I doubt he's going to take things easy in this race.
I don't think so. Lambo's the kind of racer who goes out to win every race, so I think he'll do the same again. But if Poe can find his way maybe on the first lap or two by Jay and maybe Blizzard as well, and put a couple of more guys between him and Lambo, might put some pressure on Lambo as well.
Absolutely. Well, we know the starting tyres of the top 10 were Blizzard on Ultrasofts, Jay on Hypers, Poe, Squeezy and Lambo, they're all on Ultrasoft tyres. Lighty in 6th, starting on some Hypersofts. We've got the Gort, Sean and Steph on Ultrasoft tyres. Ollie starting outside of the top 10 will be starting on a set of Supersofts. Z3 and Spike doing the same thing, and Plaster in P14 is starting on a set of Ultrasoft tyres. So Alan, what would you be doing if you got the choice tyre to start on? Which one would you be starting on?
Around here, the Ultra is a good tyre to choose because it gives you the option of the F1 side. The Hyper is possible at times. So starting on the Ultra Soft, it gives you the option of being able to judge whether you can go long enough and then put the Hypers on, or whether you need to put Super Softs on. But it also allows for if you pick up maybe damage early in the race, that you can still pit for on instead of Super Softs as well. So it opens up a few more avenues where if you put the Super Softs on, then you're committed to going long. So you're really trying to avoid damage early and then get your head down. So
28 laps around the Yas Marina circuit and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Blizzard here is going to try and spoil the party for at least one of the championship contenders today. But who will it be? I'm seeing Blizzard here running away with this one for some reason, Alan. I don't know why.
Yeah, he's a quick guy, isn't he? He's a really fast driver. He's a good driver. He's clean as well. So we know that even when he does pit and drop back into the field, he will pick his way back by drivers, but he won't tangle with them. So which is good to see. Well, very rarely he tangles with them. I think I remember once in Brazil, he tried to pass me around the outside into turns 4-6 and tapped me back in and spun himself, but that's a rare occurrence. So, yeah, I can see Blizzard pulling away with this here, and he has an unbelievable talent for just being able to manage and drive to a delta in the early stages to keep himself just out of DRS range and save his tyres so he can push once DRS and fuel starts to wear down as well. So it's a good attribute to have.
Well, here we are then, straight into it, into the starting light sequence. 5 red lights. A little bit of a delay, I'm thinking, on my end, but there we go. Round 21 is underway, and what are the starts like? Looks like Blizzard's got a good start, but Jay is side by side with them as they head in towards turn 1. We've got a Ferrari there, trying to take evasive action. That was Light E there, but look at this. Jay still on the inside of Blizzard as they head through turn 2. Now going through turn 3, and it looks like Blizzard just about holds on to the position. Jay there had to back out of that, but Poe here will be hoping that his teammate can help him out a little bit here, and I'm wondering if there's going to be team orders out at Renault camp. Lambo here has got up to P4 now, and Squeezy here has dropped to P5. And Spike, what's happened to Spike here, Alan?
Spike and Sean tangled into turn 5. Seems to back running again, but I don't know if there's any wing damage to that sailor.
Well, you can see him aggressively warming up the tyres. Here comes
the hatch on the sailor clothing.
That is Jay going around the outside. Yeah, last time Renault tried to go around the outside going into turn 9. It ended horribly wrong, but Blizzard then with Jay trying to go side by side then as we head towards turn 11 for the first time in this race. Blizzard just about holding on, but Jay here has he let Poe through. Poe is up to second place, so that's going to pay dividends towards the end, but it's not enough right now. Lambo, if Poe wants to finish in second place or can finish in second place, you're looking at Lambo finishing at least 7th or lower. So not good news for Poe, but we've still got a lot to go in this race then. Blizzard leads the way from Poe, Jay, Lambo, Squeezy, Lighty, Maze, Steph, and Ollie. That is your top 10 so far, and that's someone off in the back. That's Steph. Steph's into the wall. Yeah, he hit the wall.
Oh, the hotel section.
Yeah, he ran wide, just clipped the wall, clipped the tyre, and Steph's day is done. And that is so unfortunate for him. He wanted to try and finish into the top 10, but he's out on the very first lap. And commiserations to Steph then. But, well, to end your race that early.
Hoping Ollie P does the same thing and crashes out.
Absolutely. Well, we're down to 13 though as we head on to the second lap of this race then, and Blizzard is just about holding off from Poe, and if I know Blizzard, he's looking to try and throw a spanner into the works here. He's not just going to think about it, he's going to do it. And well, he has he is TTL most successful driver of all time in terms of trophies. Coming back next season is a warning sign to the rest of the drivers, but as you can see, Poe here is sticking with him for now. A little mistake coming out of turn 9 there, got onto the curb a little bit too much, but Poe will be hoping that Jay becomes a little bit of a rear gunner here and helps him out by trying to keep Lambo behind.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a train behind him here, Blizzard, as well. So this is what I was saying at the start that Blizzard likes to do. He just drives to a delta just to do enough to keep them tyres in check in the early stage with the heavy car, and as the car lightens up, he'll start to push.
Absolutely. The Gort then getting past, and Blizzard.
Poe's gone by Blizzard.
Well, that is, I don't know what happened to Blizzard there, but Poe's got in front, as you say, and, well, he'll be hoping now to try and get away from Blizzard as much as possible. Jay behind Blizzard now, hoping to try and close that gap. We've got Lambo in 4th place. DRS has been enabled, and Jay's just set the fastest lap of the race, 1:39.5, as we head into turn 1 for the 3rd time. Poe leads from Blizzard and Jay. That's your top 3 so far.
And we've got 2 trains now. We're here with DRS activated this lap. You could see some movement down the straights there.
Absolutely. Well, keep an eye on that one. Of course, you've got 2 DRS zones here. There's one of the activation points. We've just gone over the line with Lambo there as we head out of the hairpin. Luckily for the drivers here, there's 2 detection points. So if you get DRS once, and you get past, where you can use that DRS to get past them once again. So it may not be wise to try and overtake into the first braking zone with DRS. It might be wise to just wait and go for the second time, and I think that's what Blizzard is doing, is use the first DRS zone to close up. You've just gone over the second detection point. There's the activation point. As you can see, Blizzard right into the slipstream, looking to go left. Poe is covering him off though, as we now head down towards turn 11, and Poe, I think, has just about done enough there to hold on to the position. So great defending from Poe then.
And the Dart having a go on Ollie down into turn 11. He gets down the inside, Ollie stays and gives him room, and Ollie gets back through. So Dart making a move, not making it stick.
Well, you've got Spike there picking up a 3-second time penalty with him pushing. He's currently in P11, hoping to score some good points today. Sean, meanwhile, is putting Mays under a bit of pressure here. P8 so far in the Williams, and looking to just try and get past Mays for position. Mays moving on from Haas next season, and moving into the Renault, I believe. Bit of a change of scenery for him, as Poe set to 138.6. That was 9/10 faster than Jay managed on a set of hyper soft tyres. Here comes Sean then, down the inside, into turn 1.
Oh, no. Ferrari getting sideways there out of turn 1 as well.
A Ferrari getting sideways out of turn 1. Yeah, light E. Yeah, absolutely. So looking to try and push the boundaries as much as possible. Here comes Sean once again.
Down the inside. He gets that move stuck, but Mays will have DRS now back down the straight.
Well, let's see if Sean can get away in the hairpin.
Ollie is right up on the is now as well, with the Dart and Spike in the background there too.
Absolutely. Well, let's have a look at Spike then and see if he can find a way past. DRS is open, and you can see here, look at that slipstream, look at how that affects you going down the straight. Then we've also got Ollie and Mays trying to make a move. Oh, Ollie trying to go down the inside. So many battles to watch, Alan. There's too many battles to watch. But it looks like Mays has held off from Ollie, and Spike has made a move on the Gort then. And Ollie here trying to make the move on Mays then. Yep, down into turn 11 then. And Ollie's got the move done then. His next target will be Sean.
C3 on the back of the Dart in the background there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to keep an eye on that battle as well. It's a bit crowded here, going into or P8 here, as you've got Ollie, May, Spike, the Gort, and Z3 all looking to try and battle for Ollie's position. A little bit of a train and there for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the train as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, coming on to the 5th lap of this Grand Prix then, Poe still leads from Blizzard, Jay, Lambo and Squeezy. There you can see them all in your picture, with Lighty just in the background there, looking and lurking to see if he can try and take any more positions. Mays into the pits very early on. I wonder if that's damage, and we'll have a look and see what that's all about, as we see Blizzard here right on the tail of Poe, looking to try and cause an upset here. And let's have a look at Mays. Is that strategy change? It is. So it's a
strategy call. So Mays maybe 2-stop on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So no change of front wing for him. Here comes Blizzard then, going down the back straight, and pulls to the left hand side. You can see they are side by side as we head down towards turn 8.
Back in behind, so he's being clever. He's waiting for the second DRS. Oh, and Jay got very close in the back of Blizzard there.
Yeah, I heard contact from Jay there going into Blizzard, so I wonder if he's damaged his front wing there, maybe even slightly. That is going to help Lambo out as we head towards turn number 11. And you can see there, well, let's keep an eye on Jay here. That right-hand side, I believe it was, of the front wing could have taken a little bit of damage there. We'll see how his performance goes and how his lap times are. This will be a good section to see if he's got some damage, but it doesn't look like it. So, and that will be added on to the end of his race, as we see Lighty has dropped back to about 3 seconds behind Squeezy there. So he's made a little bit of a mistake there, somewhere around the lap. But Jay is desperately trying to hold off Lambo.
I think of Squeezy there, has he dropped off a little bit just to remove the pressure off his brother in the battle. Two brothers there fighting in 4th and 5th, and Lambo looking to take the title. Is Squeezy going to try get one over on his brother and maybe cause a collision, or is he just hanging back and easing the pressure off his brother? It's interesting. And Steph commenting in the stream there, bloody wall wasn't hard hit. Kudos Cody's for the collision, and invisible wall. Congrats, Ollie. It's not over yet, Steph. Ollie still has to finish the race.
Absolutely. That is it P9, isn't it? They're fighting for is still not
P9.
over yet. Here comes Lambo then, coming down the back straight. And looks like this is a move on Jay then. And Jay here looks like he hasn't really got a lot to fight and doesn't fight it at all there. Lambo gets through, and I'm wondering if Jay... Yeah, I'm wondering if he has a bit of front wing damage, and those tyres are starting to come to the end of their life here.
I'd say possibly, yeah. We've seen Mays has already pitted off them. Lloydie is the other car that started on them, and again, he's dropped away from that front train now as well. He's sort of dropping back towards Olisa. As Spike moves on Sean.
We're having a look, and a 5-second stop go for Blizzard. Now he ran wide. Yes, he ran wide in turn 15 or 16, I believe that was. So he's got a 5-second stop go. Now, of course, Lambo and Poe won't really know that, but if they ask their engineer about the driver behind or the driver ahead, depending on what position they're in, they'll be able to say, Jeff will be able to tell them that they've got that 5-second penalty. Jay is into the pits then, and I wonder if he's going to change his front wing. Have a look at the Renault crew and see what they do then. As Jay trundles his way down the pit lane. Have they got a front wing ready? Yes, they have. Yes, so yes, there was damage to that front wing. So that's not going to help.
Blizzard's penalty there as well, Kieran, is he hasn't pitted yet, so he's going to serve it as his pit stop. So maybe if the guys ask Jeff now for penalty information and Jeff tells them he has a 5-second penalty, they might be lured into a false sense of security from the end of the race. And as we get sectors, 1 sector, yellows in sector 1.
Yeah, it's the Gort. So the Gort was involved in something there because he's retired from the session from the menu. And, well, that is his day done then. The Gort becomes the second retirement. He was spun around. He was facing the wrong way, I should say, on the exit of turn 3, I believe that was. So, well, that is his day done.
And back trail on Paul and turn 11. As Paul picks up the penalty.
Yeah, they've got to be careful about these penalties. They will add up to the end of the session. Of course, Blizzard will serve his 5 stop-go penalty in the pits. Poe will serve his 3-second time penalty at the end of the race. So as we see them trying to filter through, you've got Lambo there, 1.3 behind Poe at the moment. And there is still a bit of debris there, Alan, where Steph hit the wall on lap 1. And you can see there, both Blizzard and Poe using that curve on the left-hand side and the entrance into turn 21. Just about enough to to not warrant any sort of warning.
It's a tight line there because you have the exceeding track limit warning, but also on that curve, if you go too far onto that curve, it drags you more in towards the wall that Steph hit. So you don't want to run too far on it. You want to just run on it enough to be able to drive your car out of the corner and not get the pull towards the wall.
So if you're wondering, as it stands, let me try and answer that for you. With Poe in second place and Lambo in third, Lambo will be crowned champion. Of course, I'll try and keep you up to date as best I can. Here comes Poe then, looking to change that instantly, trying to go down the inside of Blizzard, and Blizzard will try the cut back here in towards turn 8 here, and then make a little bit of contact there going into turn 8 there, and a bit of contact again on turn 9 as they now head through turn 10 towards the DRS zone. Who will have it? And Blizzard has the DRS then as we head down through towards turn 11 now, and you can see Lambo is right behind them both. Poe trying to go up the inside going into turn 11, left just about enough room, but it wasn't enough for Blizzard to go through. And Blizzard.
Yeah, Blizzard must have got an illegal overtake and let him back through there. But it looks like
either that or we ran wide, Alan, because look at Lambo and he's right behind him there. Yeah. As
what made me think it was an illegal overtake is he's so slow to let Poe through, but he made sure he wasn't letting Lambo through. He was back. Blizzard had the car straight back out in front of Lambo, so maybe if it was a run wide, Lambo may have had a chance there as well.
Absolutely. Well, Lambo finishing in third place is absolutely fine by him, because if he finishes there, he's champion regardless where Poe ends up finishing. Lap 9 of this Grand Prix. Poe leads from Blizzard and Lambo. Poe looking for his 6th win of the season. And to win 6 races in a season is a fantastic achievement. That is...
Sean is frozen up on Z3 down the start-finish straight here.
Lining him up, that's for sure. We've also got Spike, who is up to P5 now, and I'm sure he'll be complaining that he hasn't got enough.
On the back of Plaster now. Is he going to pass? He goes around the outside into turn 1.
Here we go then on fresher tyres, and yeah,
that's an easy pass for Jay on Plaster, and Plaster gives him the space, which is good racing.
yeah, I don't think Plaster was very interested in battling here. Here we go then, Lambo trying to make a move now on Blizzard as we head down towards turn 8 then. Blizzard's on the inside. Will he give him the room, Lambo? Yes, he will. And Lambo there has enough to fight him off. And absolutely. Well, Blizzard now is going to go around the outside. We'll give him the outside line for turn 11, but he will have DRS then as he runs side by side, almost touching wheels down the straight then. As we head towards turn 11. Yeah, absolutely. Blizzard makes the move and Lambo back down to P3. You can see Squeezy there in the distance looking to try and make a move.
Lambo needs to take a leaf out of Blizzard's book here and be a little bit more clever and not overtake on that first straight and wait to get to overtake in the second. Because Blizzard's coming back at him down the second straight every time.
Absolutely, and if these two are battling, it does mean Poe's able to get away a little bit. 0.8 of a second in front of Blizzard at the moment. So, Poe will be hoping that Blizzard and Lambo just battle for the rest of the race. That's what he'll want. That's what he'll hope for. But I don't think he can't rely on that because Lambo's still in P3.
Poe will be hoping for contact between Blizzard and Lambo, I think.
Well, you never wish ill of your rivals, but if it happens, it happens. That's what I would say. So lap 10 of this Grand Prix. Poe leads from Blizzard and Lambo. Squeezy's in 4th, Spike in 5th. As Ollie is in 6th, C3 7th, Sean in 8th in the pits, Jay is 9th, Lighty 10th, Plaster 11th and Maze is 12th, the last of the runners as Jay sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 1:38.4.
That's a quick lap from Jay at Maze pace. At this stage just no plenty of fuel in the cars as well, so.
Here comes Blizzard. Right, side by side now with Poe, and he wants to make this move now. He's not waiting till the second straight, that's for sure. Trying to go down the inside, going into turn 8, but he backs out of it. He does back out of it. There you go, he's setting himself up now for the second straight. This is the racecraft we were talking about. And look at Lambo. Lambo's come out of nowhere. Oh, this could end in tears if it doesn't play right. But yes, Lambo's got past Blizzard then. He's taken your advice, Alan. He must have been listening to the streamers. Then now going to try and make it 3 wide. 3 wide into turn 11.
And Lambo's got through.
How on earth?
Into the lead of this race.
How on earth did Lambo do that? What a move from Lambo to take the lead of the race. Wow, that was incredible. As Blizzard here, locks up, makes contact with Poe there. As he wanted to try and make a move down into turn 17. Absolutely, well Squeezy is no stranger to a top 3 finish, maybe even a race win, and he'll be wanting to challenge himself here and see if he can maybe cause another upset like Blizzard here. But Blizzard trying to lunge into turn 17, is that harking back to season 10 where he would make moves, unnecessary moves down the inside when he didn't need to. But he is always wanting that race win.
Race in Crocodile Bill, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember that too.
There's one for your classic. There's one for your classic series.
Here comes Squeezy though, down the inside.
Oh, Squeezy!
Squeezy and Blizzard. Yeah, giving each other just about enough room as we head into the hairpin of turn number 7, and Squeezy's got the move done then. So he moves up into P3.
Blizzard's kind of Squeezy took out the DRS, or from where the activation was. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any. I wonder if there's any front wing damage.
Yeah, possibly.
From when he ran into.
Matt possibly could be tyres going of his own pad, maybe temps wise.
Yeah, but then again, Squeezy's on exactly the same tyres with exactly the same life, so I wonder if Blizzard's got some front wing damage that he picked up by trying to go down the inside of Poe into turn 17. He's also got to serve that 5-second stop-go penalty, so if he does have to pit for a new front wing, he's going to be there for at least 13-14 seconds.
Put the stop, yeah. And that's not including the time moving in the pit lane, that's just a sit and stop.
Yeah, absolutely, so this could be a disaster if Blizzard's not careful.
The pit stop would put Blizzard down to last at the moment, so...
Yeah, even if even without the 5 seconds, I think it would put him down towards the back of the field. Special mention though to Z3, who was on a set of super softs. He's currently running in P6 at the moment, dropping to a reserve next season for TTL F1. I'm unsure of the TTF F2.
And Poe as well,
so they've left Lambo stranded out there then. So Poe in.
It doesn't change wing, so it's just serving the time penalty for Blizzard.
So no damage then, as you say, puts on a new set of tyres. It's the super softs. Squeezy does the same, as does Poe. And keep it cool now in the pit lane. Goes underneath the track, and then you rejoin as you head above it. It's always very easy to try and push and lock up.
Power is my excellent pit stop for Power. He's got a car between him and Blizzard now, in the form of Squeezy.
Well, he would have been helped out by Blizzard's 5-second stop go.
Nearly loses the back end, coming back out onto the track as well, out of pit lane.
And he is just got to keep that car on the track if he wants to still cause this upset.
Down the first straight here.
Absolutely, we're riding on board with Squeezy then. He will have the DRS on Lighty. Lighty on those tyres. Use set of super softs only for 4 laps. And here we go then. Squeezy trying to go around the outside of turn number 8. And he has that move done.
Hopefully no damage for the Lowry's car there, as he gets out onto the curbs as well there, Lowry.
Sean then makes the move on Maze, and Sean moves up into P10 on a fresher set of super soft tyres as Maze looks to try and make the 2-stop work. Meanwhile, Poe is now once again behind his teammate, and I reckon the Renault team will be on the team radio for team orders, and I don't think you could blame them for that one.
No, definitely not at this stage. It helps Poe an awful lot here if he Jay, his teammate, lets him back through and puts more cars between him and Blizzard, and we would expect maybe Lambo to see where he drops back out and maybe in front of Blizzard here as he comes out of pits as well.
Yep, Lambo in the pits then. Away he goes, and on a set of super soft tyres.
Straight, and Jay lets him pass.
Yes, he does, absolutely. So that's exactly what he needed. Here comes Lambo coming out of the pit lane, and it looks like Poe is just about to rejoin ahead of him, is he? Is he going to rejoin? No, he doesn't. Lambo rejoins ahead. So Lambo ahead of Poe then. That's a little bit of a headache there for Poe. They did try the undercut, all of them there, but it didn't work at all. No. So a little bit of a disaster there for Poe, but again, it's not over yet. We're just under half race distance, and you can see this flurry of cars here looking to try and battle. There's Squeezy though, trying to go down the inside of Jay as Jay gets a little bit of a warning there, and trying to go side by side into turn 8, through turn 9 they go, and just about, yeah, just about there. But
just holding off for the moment. Squeezy's on. Squeezy taps his wheel.
Taps his wheel, tries to go down the inside. That wasn't going to happen, but Squeezy's made the move done somehow. Yeah, Squeezy aggressive. He wants to get as many points as possible to help him in his championship battle.
I think Jay is on the same 2-stop strategy as Maze as well. He's starting on Hypers and he's gone Ultras, so I think another set of Ultras will be coming for him as well.
Lambo's now coming up to the back of Ollie, and how quickly he can dispatch him will be crucial here, as Spike leads the race for now. Z3 in second, Ollie in third, but for how much longer, I wonder. Oh, Jay's out! Jay is out! Oh, he must have hit the wall! He's hit the wall somewhere! That's a peculiar place to lose a front wheel. I wonder if he's hit the back of someone, because that's a very bizarre place to lose a front wheel then. Squeezy has got past Poe then. Well, Squeezy through then, and causing a real headache for Poe right now. Lambo P3, Poe in P6, as that Squeezy going up the inside of his teammate. I can't help but think that was a little bit of team orders as well.
Poe follows him through, but past Ollie.
I can't help but think a little bit of team orders were involved there. But anyway, Squeezy now up to P4, as Lambo here goes up the inside of Z3, his teammate. Z3 says, there you go, you can have the championship if you really want it, and he lets him through for P2. I doubt he's going to make that so easy for Poe, but we'll have to wait and see as Poe approaches.
He's got Lambo, he's got his teammate and his brother sitting between him and Poe now. He's in a very good position.
Yeah, absolutely, but I doubt his brother's going to help him. I think Z3 will help Lambo as much as he can, but Squeezy, meanwhile, may not be willing to do the same thing, as he's willing to try and go round the outside of turns 15 and 16 there. Didn't quite work out, but through 17 and then 18 now, just trying to line up a move, going through turn 19 now, as we head now towards turn 20. Z3's not going to make this easy.
I was trying to take advantage of wanting to fall to his way as well.
Absolutely. Well, he's got to make this move count, as Lambo sets the fastest lap of the race. And Z3 trying to go defensive, is he?
Like a spike here as well.
Well, here comes Squeezy down the inside of Z3 then, and Poe wanted to try and follow suit but couldn't quite do it. So Squeezy's now up into P3, and Poe here is really looking to try... Yeah, Poe's really looking to try and get past Z3 as quickly as possible. He's got the DRS zone, so he can use that, but he's losing precious and valuable time here, being behind.
Spike gets a bit sideways over turn 1. Lambo's tucked into his rear diffuser down the start of the first DRS right. Lambo pulls out, opens the rear wing, and that's an easy pass for Lambo under the fresher tyres and the DRS. And
Absolutely.
will Spike come back at him in the second part is the question.
I don't think so, because already he's 6/10 back, and maybe with a little bit of slipstream he might be able to do something about it, but I think...
The DRS on right.
Yeah, well, going through 11, 12 and 13...
Yeah. Yeah,
He's gonna
he's too far up on that, so that's Lambo into P1.
Yeah, I think Spike is more concerned about extending his stint as long as possible to put on a set of Ultrasofts towards the end, so I don't think he's too concerned about battling with Lambo. He just wants to lose as little time as possible. Z3 and Blizzard, meanwhile, have had a friendly, banterous rivalry over the seasons, and meeting each other on track here as Blizzard now trying to go down the inside into turn 19. Has he got the move done? Yes, he has. Good move from Blizzard then.
On the wall facing away from that action.
Well, at least I saw it. Squeezy and Poe move up because Spike has come into the pit lane now. I'm assuming this is to go into a set of ultra soft tyres to get him to the end of the race. He's in the Sauber, so his pit box is all the way down the end of pit lane. He comes in, tyres off, on go the ultras, and away he goes. So that's, well, what he's thinking. Yeah, he's thinking that's going to be his last pit stop of the season. So as he heads back out, not to jinx it or anything, but if I don't cover Spike, he loves to say that I don't do it. But there you go, bit of airtime coverage.
Me and Andy were putting the commentators' curse on drivers on at Brazil. I said Spike was closing in on the leaders, and then Spike crashed out. Then Andy said Jay was closing in on the leaders, and then Jay crashed out.
Well, here comes Poe though on Squeezy, and Poe knows that this move is the one that matters. Look at this helicopter camera here as we head towards turn 11. They get very, very close here. Towards turn 11 they go, and Squeezy's willing to stick it up the inside, but that puts him on the outside. Yeah, not an ideal line for Squeezy there, as Poe finds his way through and up to P2, but it's not enough. Lighty there gets past Ollie. He's up now into P6, chasing down Z3, who has not stopped just yet. In fact, he's the only driver yet to stop this race. So Z3 taking his tyres a good distance so far. Squeezy's not done with Poe here, staying within half a second, there or thereabouts. As we head with Lambo then on towards lap 17. And there are...
This is what Lambo wants to see, these two battling so he can pull away.
Absolutely. We have now got 12 laps of the season to go. Blizzard sets the fastest lap of the race at 1:37.9.
Z3 who pulls into the pits.
Z3
in the pits as well.
Z3 and Ollie. Sorry, Ollie, I forgot you hadn't stopped either. So the only two people left to stop in the race are the people in the pit lane right now. Z3 going on to a set of Ultrasofts. Here comes Ollie in the McLaren, also doing the same. On go the Ultrasofts. We've got yellow flags in Sector 3. Who could that be? That's Maze. Maze is facing the wrong way. Yeah, between turns, that's 18 and 19. So I wonder what happened there to Maze. But he now finds himself down the order.
Ultrasoft tyres going on him a bit now. Are we going to see Maze come to the pits here? Yeah.
I think we are. Here comes...
Stop of the season for all drivers, and I think Maze has wing damage there, as well as he can into the pits. So I think that's going to be a wing change from us.
Looking at a couple of battles up and down the field. A Spike on the Ultrasoft tyres, on a fresh set of Ultrasoft tyres.
On the back of Z3 here as well.
Gets ahead, and as you say, Ollie on the back. We've got the other McLaren of Squeezy still trying to battle away with Poe as you can see the leaders on the super soft tyres. Spike 9.3 is the gap to the next car. That's going to be very difficult to make up over sort of 11 laps, if you like, or 12 laps. 11 and a bit if you are picky. But yeah, with 11 laps on those ultra soft tyres, he's got to make up at least a second per lap to catch them before the end of the race. And catching them is one thing.
Is about 6/10, so if he's driving hard and can keep the tyres in load, there's a possibility that he could at least see the back of the car before the end of the race. Anyway.
Ollie here looking to try and secure a finish ahead of Steph this season. But he's got Z3 to battle with. 0.8 of a second behind is Ollie. And Z3 isn't going to make that battle too easy. They're both stopped at the same time to put on a set of ultra soft tyres, which should get them to the end of the race. And we'll have to keep an eye on that battle, see what Ollie can do in that other McLaren. 11 laps to go in this one. Lambo leads from Poe and Squeezy. That's your top three so far. If it were to finish like this, Lambo would be the Season 11 champion. And he'll claim his first championship.
Pit stops as well, so I think it's racing, pure racing to the finish now.
Absolutely. With these 11 laps, these are the ones that count. Obviously Poe, Squeezy, Blizzard, they all tried the undercut. And it didn't quite work out. But I tell you what, Blizzard's closing in on Squeezy here. The gap is 0.8 of a second, and he's catching him even without DRS here. So we've got to watch out for Blizzard towards the end of the race. And that's going to help out Lambo, because even if he were to let Blizzard through, he's maybe he'll sacrifice his pride in not getting the race win for the overall pride of the championship. And that's what he'll probably be thinking. He doesn't have to push as hard as Poe does. But he's got to be able to make sure he doesn't make the mistake. Because if he doesn't finish this race, Poe will need a podium to secure the championship. So
he's already secure and now in second place at the moment. So
yeah, absolutely.
Is this a sign for next season to come? Blizzard, as you say, he's been the only one outside the top four to get race wins, but he has struggled a little bit here. And is it something that says science that it's maybe not going to be Blizzard running away with things next season when he comes back?
Well, maybe, but we'll have to wait and see, because when he joined at the end of, I believe it was season number 8, towards the end of then, I was saying, you know, we were seeing a championship rivalry in the making, and how right I was. In fact, one of the most successful drivers in TTL history now is Blizzard. And he'll be hoping to make that even more when he comes to race next season. But he's got this race to go just yet, and he'll be hoping to end it with a win. He won't be happy with anything less, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. Blizzard, he always goes for the win. It's his #1 goal, and we think he likes fast to take the fastest lap as well. So I'm sure I haven't seen his name pop up in the fastest lap yet, so I'm sure there's fuel and ERS in reserve there for him at the moment.
I'm also sure.
Not so much ERS, but I'm sure he has the fuel.
I'm also sure that if Blizzard will try to get fastest lap, Z3 will just pit in, sneakily put on a set of hypersofts and change that story. He did it once before. I wouldn't rule out him doing it again. But we have around about 9 laps left to go in the season, Alan. And well, the championship still is yet to be decided. But Lambo leading the way is a good sign for Lambo and his championship standings. In the constructors, however, it looks like it's going to be Renault taking the crown for the constructors. So a season where the driver and the constructors champions are from different teams, Alan. That doesn't happen.
I think it's been a long time since we've seen that in TTL as well. So it's a season of good battles. It's definitely been our closest season in a long while anyway.
Absolutely, and it will be close between Squeezy and Blizzard then down this straight. Opens the DRS, does Blizzard, as we head down the back straight towards turn 8. He'll look to the left hand side, and I don't think Squeezy was I think Squeezy backed out of it because he wants the DRS for the second straight.
For the second bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's backed a bit too far away, I think.
Yeah, he might have given up a little bit too much track there to Blizzard. And I think Blizzard has third place unless Squeezy wants to try a diving move.
Oh, he's too far to make a move. He could see himself in the steward's office, I think, for making a move like that.
Well, I don't normally involve myself in the stewards, especially commentating. But no, I see what you mean. He's had a very interesting season, has Squeezy. Definitely been a quick driver, but just needs to iron out those decisions that he seems to make every now and again. Monza comes to mind. I don't know why, but he needs to iron out those decisions he's making. And, you know, with a bit more maturity behind him, I think he's got the potential here to at least challenge for the championship again next season. Maybe next season take it to the wire.
He's shown he's got the pace, so when the dust settles tonight after the season's over, the drivers look back. They've got the made the off-season Challenge Cup coming up on Thursday, so it'll be next Tuesday before season 12 starts. So he's got a few days to think, look back and see where he's made the mistakes and what mistakes he can iron out. So I think we will take Squeezy stronger next season.
Here comes Z3 then, in what could be his last permanent drive for Toro Rosso in TTL F1. He's been in red hot form in TTL F2 though, that's for sure, and he wants to go out with a bang here as he's trying to go down the inside of Sean. Sean defending hard then as we head into the chicane. He's dropping to a reserve for next season in TTL F1. I'm not sure what the story will be in F2, but if this is his last permanent drive for Toro Rosso, he's going to go out with everything guns a-blazing. And what better way than P6 to finish behind Spike then. We've also got Ollie in the background challenging Lighty as well, down the same straight. Z3
on the outside.
Oh, there's a little bit of contact there. Little bit of contact, but Z3 has got the move done then. And ahead.
Sean have had DRS back here, so Ollie closing back up on Lighty again.
Here comes Sean then. Down the inside into turn 11. And look at this, Z3 just about holding it into turn 12, into 13. And yes, Z3 has the move done. Absolutely. 6th place for Z3 so far. We've got yellow flags in sector 1. Yeah, I think well, Blizzard's now 2.7 behind Poe, so I wonder if it involved him in some way. Him and Squeezy maybe? I'm not entirely sure. Oh, Squeezy's... Oh! Nearly lost the back end there, did Squeezy. Coming through that S section of 3 and 4. Very heart-in-mouth moment there. But he's managed to keep a hold of the car.
Oh, getting sideways out of the turn, or out of the hairpin.
Here comes Lighty on Sean. It's his turn now to try and make a move and try and secure his place as he quotes it, best of the rest. He's going to try and go around the outside, does he? No, he doesn't. Coming now down in towards turn number 4, or so 5 and 6 now. But no, not quite making that move. He's going to try and go around the outside, but he's got to be careful of Ollie and the McLaren looking to try and take advantage. Here comes Lighty in the slipstream. He'll get the DRS here as we head down the main straight, or sorry, the back straight I should say. And looks like from this camera angle at least, Lighty has got the move done, and Sean here
has to hold off, so will Ollie have a move on him into turn 11 now?
Well, we'll have to see then. Ollie is not running an ERS battery mode at the moment. He's really trying to save that ERS for later on as he short shifts as well, coming towards turn 11, so maybe just waiting for the right opportunity. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But meanwhile then, Squeezy is trying to close in on Blizzard once again, as Blizzard finds himself 2.4 behind Poe. And Lambo leading the way then. 6 laps to go. And these two who we were speaking to in the pre-race press conference are running 1 and 2. 1.3 seconds separate them so far. They basically told each other their strategy, Alan, and they're still as close to each other on the track.
Yeah, and they both expect the Blizzard to be in the mix, creating problems for them, which turns out Blizzard's back, keeping Squeezy occupied, so don't think either of them would have thought the race would have went this way for them, but they've both done what they did the best they could, and unfortunately for Paul, Lambo kept it on track and is in P1, which is not what he wants to see, but Lambo will be delighted with his drive on this season.
Absolutely, and I think Poe came here sort of with a little bit less confidence than Lambo, but Lambo came here with the attitude that it's not over yet, and you know, big respect between both drivers here. They know they've battled so hard all season long, and you can see that respect between them has grown even after and even during this season, Alan. So it'll be great to see
close respect, close friends, both guys on and off track, so it's good to see when close guys racing, especially being able to go so close wheel to wheel at such high speeds and trust each other. That's one thing that's a dream for a driver, to be able to trust someone that's really alongside. So
5 laps to go of season number 11 and the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Lambo leads from Poe, Blizzard, Squeezy, Spike, Z3, Lighty, Ollie, Sean, Plaster and Maze. So 11 runners in this Grand Prix as Jay DNF'd from the race. Bizarre incident going into the last corner. We still don't really know what happened exactly, but he lost his front wheel and that was that. The Gort retired from the menu and Steph retired on lap 1, hitting the wall on the outside of turn 19. Squeezy
If I
here.
remember correctly, Jay was on the same strategy as Miles, although he only done 6 laps in the Ultra Sport. I was thinking maybe if he tried to go into the pits, he could have locked up and clipped the pit wall there, but that's the only way I can see where Jay actually.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see if he says what happened, maybe in the race chat afterwards. But meanwhile, Squeezy is really trying to reel in Blizzard here. Blizzard's also reeling in Poe at a rate of knots as well. 1.1 is the gap, and you can see Poe is starting to drop back from Lambo.
Drop back to Lambo, yeah. 2.5 seconds now. So Lambo's in, obviously, it's saying cruise control at this stage, engine torn down, saving everything in case he needs it for the end of the race.
Absolutely. Well, I would expect that from Lambo to be really cruising, but from Poe, I really wasn't expecting him to cruise at this point. At this point, I would have thought he would have gone full out attack. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could be a case as well that he sees Poe, or he sees Lambo at the net stage 2 seconds up the road, 5 laps left. He's thought to himself, okay, I'm not winning it this season, let's secure the 2nd place finish and go again next season. So that could be what his thought is behind turning everything down maybe. But Blizzard is right on his tail again now, so he's going to have to turn it all back up.
Absolutely, with Squeezy joining him as well. And, well, Spike here, in this sort of last few races, just hasn't seemed to be on the ball. And hopefully he'll be looking into Season 12 with a bit of optimism and see if he can get out of this form, because, you know, form is temporary but class is permanent. Spike's already proven that he can be champion, but, you know, he just needs that little bit of, I would say, luck on his side. You know, he finds himself 17.6 behind this battle now.
The last couple of races seem to be tyre temp issues with him. I suppose as well with all the guys ahead there being on wheels, and I think Blizzard might be on a pad at the moment, but the rest of the lads are on wheels. I can vouch for someone who drives on wheel. You can be so much smoother on your controls. You don't scrub off as much speed through the corners. You look after your tyres better. So if they do guys, and they do have an advantage. So, and I always Spike struggle with tyre temps on the pad in the last few races. So maybe that's why we're seeing him down the pecking order a bit from Australia, where he can keep the temps on race. Maybe we'll see a different side of Spike again back at the start of the season. So, but hopefully for next season he gets that tyre temp issue under control.
Well, we saw a little bit of battling there over that lap, with Poe, Blizzard and Squeezy wanting to go 3 wide going into turn 11 there. Didn't quite work out for Blizzard or Squeezy, but they still find themselves facing the right way and in this battle, so that's what they can hope for now as we head into the closing stages. 3 laps to go of this season, and it's a season that's brought us drama, high octane action and a championship battle right to the very end. It's been a fantastic season, and of course we get 3 laps more of it to enjoy and prepare ourselves for season number 12. Blizzard here trying to go down the inside of Poe, and he's got to get the exit right. They're going to be side by side, absolutely rubbing wheels, rubbing tyres as they head down the straight. It's going to be Blizzard who has the DRS then as they head towards turn number 8. They are still side by side, and Blizzard trying to go down the inside. No, he backs out of it. He wants that second DRS zone. That's what he's wanted. Look how wide he was on the left-hand side of turn number 9 to really optimise his entry there. And you can see Blizzard here always trying to try and go down the inside. Poe was trying to leave him as little room as possible, but he couldn't quite do it. Couldn't quite shut the door. And Blizzard moves up into 2nd place, but picks himself up a time penalty with his troubles there, as now Poe finds himself down in 3rd place. Well, a bit of an interesting battle between the two of them. Blizzard picks up a 3-second time penalty. Here comes Poe. Is he going to try and move down the inside of turn 17? No, he doesn't. He thought about it, but backed out of the move there. It was a little bit of a half-hearted effort, which, you know, half-hearted could mean a little bit more risky here.
Lambo's pulled 6 seconds up the road.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Light E is challenging Z3.
Wide out of the second last corner there.
We'll have to see how that affects his exit out of the corner. You've got Squeezy there right behind, as we're trying to look at Lighty and Z3 battling over P6. That should be an interesting battle. We'll try and keep an eye on it if we can. But Blizzard, meanwhile, picks up the pace in second place. Squeezy is right on the tail of Poe here, and you can see that yellow fuel indicator flash up every now and again. That means Poe has to fuel save, so he's not got enough fuel for the end of the race, or just barely enough fuel, so he really has to monitor his fuel.
He has a yellow fuel light as well on his battle with C3, so C3 has more fuel to play with than Lady.
Absolutely, it's all important when you come towards the last few laps. 2 laps to go then. Here comes Squeezy down the inside of Poe then as we head down towards turn number 8. And has Squeezy got the move done? He's got the inside line. He should have the better line through the corner. And yes, he does. Squeezy moves up into P3 and Poe drops down to P4. We've got Sean there in the pits, by the way, going on a set of hypersofts as Poe thought about a move down the inside into turn 11, but backed out of it. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Poe here right on Squeezy's tail. About a tenth separates them. Lighty and Z3 as well. Trying to keep an eye on that battle as well as we head with these two, Squeezy and Poe, towards turn 17. And Lighty...
Past C3 down towards, on the run down towards turn 11. With C3 going to fight back?
He will. He's got the DRS. He's going to try it around the outside. And they make contact, the two of them, into turn 11. And do turn 12 and 13. Well, I think Lighty's got the position there. And yes, he has. He's got up to P6 then. So away he goes then. So final lap of the Grand Prix and the final lap of the season. Lambo starts it in the lead. Will he finish it in the lead? If he does... He'll be champion of season number 11.
Passive Marius there letting him through.
So Lighty going up to P6 then. Well, Lambo, for him, I said and pretty much rubbed it in his face that around about 10, 11 weeks ago, he lost 2 championships in the space of a week. He's got 1 more lap to do and he will have won TTL. Absolutely, and he'll be looking here to just wrap this up. Yellow flags in sectors 1 and 2, so that'll be
that's someone facing the wrong way. Spike.
Is it Spike? It is Spike, you're right.
5-6 in the hairpin, and he's picked himself up with a wing damage on the left hand side of that front wing there as well. So
yeah, did someone tell Spike it's not the end of the race yet? He maybe tried donuts there, but anyway, Lambo here going towards turn 17 and then coming towards turn 18. A little bit of a fishtail there as I'm just going to focus on Lambo here through the final couple of corners as he now heads.
Poe and Squeezy are off at the hotel, just before the hotel. Poe and Squeezy off, and Squeezy's back moving and Poe's getting back moving now.
Well, Lambo here is going to cross the line. He's finally done it. He wins and is champion of TTL season number 11. Congratulations to Lambo. What a season it's been. Blizzard crashes across the line to claim second place. Squeezy in third, and Poe there, as you said, coming across the line in P4. And he's actually run out of fuel as well, trying to fuel save that much. Lighty then and Z3 still battling for position then. As we head through the final couple of corners, Lighty, I think, is just about going to hold on. Z3's going to hold him to the line, though. As we head around the final corner, it's going to be so close between the two of them. What's it going to be? Z3 finishes ahead on penalties. Z3 picks up P5 in the race. Fantastic result for Z3 there. Ollie finishes in P7. Sean looking like he's going to try and set the fastest lap of the race. Hopefully he hasn't invalidated that lap as he heads around the final couple of corners. Spike there doing some donuts.
Sean, so he could go for low fuel now here over last corner as well. Hopefully he doesn't get that time set. And he doesn't get a fastest lap, unfortunately.
Spike is just doing some donuts. The race hasn't finished, Spike, and he's gone round again.
It's giving me that wall camera facing away from the action again as usual. This game loves me. Just gonna tell him.
Well, Plaster's going to come up to P9 and Spike here is going to try and cruise all the way around. And, well, Alan, we have crowned a new champion. Your TTL season number 11 champion cruising around. He has finally done it. Lambo is your new drivers champion and Renault are your new constructors champions.
Yeah, congratulations to the boys at Renault, Paul and Jay, and also congratulations to Lambo. A great drive and a great season for them all.
It was an absolutely brilliant race to watch between those top four, and well, we'll talk about what happened between Squeezy and Poe after this. Lambo celebrates the Drivers' Championship. Fully deserved. What a season for him. 5 wins and an absolutely fantastic championship battle all the way to the end. Fully deserved. Congratulations as well to Poe for finishing in P2 in the championship, and a very well done to everyone in the Drivers' Championship for taking part. Absolutely fantastic season. One of the best I've ever seen in TTL. But Lambo here takes the win in the official, unofficial results. Blizzard is in second, Squeezy third, Poe in fourth, Z3 in fifth, picking up P5. Great result for him. Lighty in sixth, Ollie in seventh, Sean in eighth, plus and ninth, and Spike, who decided to do some donuts on the final lap there, finishing in P10. Maze there, P11, a lap down. Jay, the Gort and Steph did not finish the race. Well, all I can say is as the fireworks go off here in Yas Marina, a big congratulations to Lambo for winning the Drivers' Championship, and a huge congratulations as well to Renault for securing the Constructors' Championship. Poe may not have got the Drivers' Championship, but he does get to keep a trophy with him, and that does count towards his championship and trophy standings. But commiserations to Poe, Spike and Squeezy throughout the season, and well, Lighty I think gets to keep his best of the rest result there for the season. Yeah, I wonder who's going to be voted driver of the day in the chat then. I think my vote would have to go to Z3, P5 to
Z3 would be mine as well, I think. And judging by the driver's chat, it looks like he's the driver's vote as well.
Well, that was absolutely fantastic, and I did post in the chat after this race that if anyone's up for Commentator's Corner, all they have to do is stay in the lobby, and hopefully we might have we might get a few. I'm wondering. I really want to get Lambo and Poe into Commentator's Corner, but of course, as we know now, that is a separate stream because we give the drivers a chance to calm down before they enter Commentator's Corner, which has worked really well in the past. So hopefully we can do that. Obviously there's only 6 spaces free because Alan and I are here ready to ask the questions, so if you're not invited straight away or you can't get in, just be patient. We'll try and get you in as quickly as we can. I'll get Alan to do that because I'm streaming, and if I try to invite people it just goes all over the place. But yes, we'll end up the stream then. Hopefully you can join us on Commentator's Corner, but if you're leaving us now, big congratulations to Lambo for wrapping up that Drivers' Championship. 5 wins in the season, and I'm hoping he'll join us for Commentator's Corner. Well then, Alan, any final words for the stream before we head to Commentator's Corner?
No, I think you've wrapped it all up nicely there. It was an excellent drive by congratulations to Lambo. Great season from by all the drivers, so well done to everyone, and looking forward to getting going again next season.
Absolutely, and we won't have long to wait. Okay, so we're going to end the stream here, but stick around on the channel because Commentator's Corner will be live in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away.